What's up guys, welcome back to this clown's garage. In this video I'm going to do a Prix supercharged bad boy. I'm going to show you how to do pads and rotors on this thing. Also, before I go, I got these Gorilla Grip gloves from Home Depot. They're supposed to be non-slip, really good grip. And they're really good, so check them out. I like them so far, been using them. I also have a video on how to do the back, rear rotors, and brake pads, so check out my channel for that. Okay, here we got 3/4 inch nuts on these studs, these wheel studs. Let's take the wheels off. And now, once you take the wheel off, what you gotta do is, to give yourself more room, you turn the wheel all the way to the right. This is the passenger side. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Alright, now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this piston in by putting a pry bar in the vented area of the rotor. So let me go ahead and do that. And as you can see in there, that is gonna get pushed in a little bit. Push that bad boy in. Yeah, baby. That's the way she likes it. Push it in. Yeah. Woo! And she'll come back for more. I guarantee you. Now you take the sliders out off the caliper. And those are 15 millimeter. So make sure when you take these off, the orientation is the same way. In other words, the top you're going to put back on the top, and the bottom you're going to put back on the bottom. Because the bolts are slightly different. So now it's easy just to take this off like that. And you're going to put this, I like to put it right on the control arm back here. Or between the shock and the CV axle. Let that bad boy just sit there, and there's no tension on here. You don't want that to hang. Next thing you do is you take these 15 millimeter bolts off right here that hold the caliper bracket to the spindle. Let me go ahead and do that now. Now the bottom one, and that falls off like that. It's not a big deal, but you might want to catch that on the way down. This smells like tuna, by the way. That brings back memories, a lot of memories. Alright, now you can take the rotor off. The old rotor. Alright, so it's a new rotor. What you do is you compare it with the old rotor, make sure they're the same size, exactly the same size, diameter wise, and make sure the bolt holes are the same configuration. So when you get the new one, what you gotta do is you gotta get yourself some brake cleaner and spray the surface of the rotor, because they usually put a coating on it when they store it so it won't rust. So get yourself a rag, a lint-free rag, and clean it up. Now put the new rotor on. Went in like butter. How easy was that? Alright, now that you put the rotor on, what I like to do is you go down here and you put yourself a nut on a stud, wheel stud, to hold this rotor in place so it won't move around. And now you put the caliper bracket back on. align the holes in the back. Sometimes it's hard to find the hole, but if you're an experienced clown like me, you can do it blindly. I have many years of practice finding holes. Just thread that in. And make sure you catch this with your hands first, because you don't want to cross thread this, and you can never cross thread something with your hands if you keep on tightening it down. In other words, once it catches and you keep turning it, that means it didn't cross thread. So once you do that, you go ahead and tighten those down. You tighten that shit down. Ugh. And she's in. Now, when you take this brake pad off, also same deal here. Make sure you prepare it with the new brake pad that you're getting. And the one with the sensor goes on this side. I'll show you later what the sensor looks like. So I'm going to go ahead now and install this one. Now over here, what you want to do is you want to clean all the spots where these little tabs go on the brake pads. Like in here, these little brackets here. You can see it's a little dirty right there where the straw is. So I just like to put a little bit of brake cleaner there on the top here. And just clean that down with the rag. So just clean that in there, and the same thing up here. You can see it's a little dirty. And look at it too. Make sure there's nothing in the way so the pad could move back and forth easily. The next thing I would do is get yourself some brake caliper grease. Auto parts store, get all the stuff at the auto parts store. And you put a little bit on the tabs here, because this is going back and forth, these tabs on the brackets over there. So you don't put too much, just put enough. Same thing over here, put on the side, the top, and the side here. And now over here, you just pop them in like this. There's open tabs in the bottom, so you put that one there, that one there, and you just squeeze it in. You're done. Also, it would be a good idea to put a little bit of this grease on the inside of the tab of the bracket, and same thing up here. Not too much, a little bit. A little bit of butter sauce, or I like to call it clown juice. Alright, now over here, this pad just slides right out, and this is the sensor here. So the sensor always goes on the outside over here. And same procedure here. Clean these brackets over here. A little bit of brake cleaner. Get yourself a little rag. Now if it's a little bumpy, or there's a little bit of debris there, or a little bit of rust, depending how bad the rust is, if it's too bad, then you get yourself new brackets. But you can also put a little bit of sandpaper on there to clean that out. Caliper grease again. Ah! Caliper grease here. This tab, caliper grease here. Put a little bit of caliper grease inside where the bracket is. Not too much, you don't want to get this on the rotor. And over here too. And now same thing, you just squeeze this bad boy in. Well, before you do that, what you want to do is you gotta put it in at an angle first. Then you line it up outside. Like that. Now you just squeeze it in. Like that. Get any excess grease out of the way. Alright, now we got the piston in a little bit in the beginning. Now we got to push it in some more. Because you always got to push it in more. All the time. There's a couple of ways of doing this. You can get yourself a fancy piston pusher. Brake piston pusher like this. Oh yeah, makes this one at the auto parts store. Or you could get yourself, if you have a big C-clamp, what I do is you put the old brake pad over there and you just grab it from behind. I like grabbing it from behind because I'm Greek. And you just clamp down. Now that's one way of doing it. See, and it goes in. Or you could do it this way with one of these. Just turn it out a little bit. And now you just clamp it down. As you can see in here, as I'm pressing it down, this is going in the piston. And you don't want to go too far in. That's good. What I also like to do is you put a little bit of brake cleaner over here just to clean up a little bit. These tabs. It's nice and clean. Now, the next thing I like to do is put a little bit of disc brake quiet. Now, you can get this at a little parts store. Some brake pads, when you buy them, it already comes with this, and some don't. So, just pick one up and it'll last you for a long time. You can put that stuff right here. Don't put too much, don't go too crazy. Just get a little bit on there. Now, what this does is, when you brake and the brake pad contacts this caliper here, what happens, this pad vibrates very, very slightly. And sometimes you hear screeching noise when you hit the brakes. It's coming from this vibrating onto the caliper here. So you put that to quiet it down. That's what that's for. And also put in the back of the pads here, I'm going to put on this side of the brake pad and on this side of the brake pad. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, now on this side. You have to go too crazy. That's it, you're good. Okay, now you put this in, and make sure when you put this on, the slider boots go inside on this here with the tabs on the caliper. So go ahead and do that now. Just like that. And you see the boots here? They're inside there. See, when you put the sliders in there, they'll fit. Now the old slider, you take your brake cleaner, you hose it down, hose that bitch down, and you clean her up. Yeah, baby. Clean that bad boy up. Now, run your finger across this, your nail, and if you feel bumps or whatever, you can lightly sand this. But if it's bad, then you might have to consider getting new sliders. So this is the top one, and now with this one, you put some caliper grease again on this one. You stick it in and make sure it moves back and forth nice and easily, free like that. Does not look good. Same deal with the other slider in the bottom. This is also known as the clown butter sauce, and I'm going to be bottling it soon, so I'll be selling it. So keep a lookout for that. And the same thing down here. And make sure it moves back and forth freely. Now you go ahead and tighten those two down. But catch them first, catch the threads first with your hand. And then you go ahead and tighten it down. Make sure the slider boots fit in there well, like I said before. If there's any excess caliper grease that comes out, just wipe it out. You don't want to get that on your rotors. Same thing here. Alright, so now you just turn the wheel straight, take that stud, you take the wheel stud nut off, and you put the wheel on and you're done. So that's how you do a brake pad and rotor change on a Pontiac 2007 Grand Prix. Thanks for watching and subscribe to my channel. You know you want to. Also, check out my other videos on my channel. And when you look in the bottom, there's a bunch of things you can do to me. Check the box to share me, like me, do whatever the hell you want to me down there. There's plenty of content to go around. Thanks.